In a world filled with screens and distractions, we invite you to reconnect with the natural world around you. Welcome to Nature Bound, a podcast dedicated to unpacking the intrinsic bond between humans and nature. We'll uncover the benefits of spending time outdoors, including how a nature-centric lifestyle can improve your mental health, elevate your leadership skills, and unleash your creativity. And now here's your host, outdoor enthusiast, and renowned author of The 7 Principles of the Magic Rock, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to Nature Bound. Today we're going to talk about how nature can be part of healing process from traumatic events or traumatic lifestyles, and featuring Trina Kennedy, who's a trailblazer with over 30 years of experience in human services. Trina is a dynamic trainer, award-winning speaker, author, and coach whose work centers on fostering emotional and mental well-being. She's dedicated to empowering individuals through self-regulation and healing, blending professional expertise with a deep passion for personal growth. Trina, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Emmanuel. I'm excited to talk to you and your listeners today.
All right. Well, we know that we're all wounded healers, and so I'm interested to know not so much about your wounding, but more about your healing and how spending time outside was an important part of your healing process.
Absolutely. As you said, we have all experienced trauma in our lives. I write about it in my book, From Trauma to Triumph and What Lies Between. It's just the cost of, this ride we're all on. Nobody gets to ride for free.
Yeah.
And so understanding we all carry wounds, but really focusing on that healing part. And I think being in nature is one of the most easily accessible, free things we can do for our own healing, or even just for regulation. We are living in such interesting times right now. I'm not really sure what other word to call it. I think there is just so much noise. Figuratively and literally, that our nervous systems and our brains have to filter out, and it's just enormous. We are a society addicted to electronics and our devices, and I'm guilty of it too. And it's just so incredibly dysregulating, which releases those stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, which aren't good long term if we're exposed to those over a long period of time. It's connected to physical health issues, mental health issues, and nature really has been proven, and certainly my experience as well, to just calm all of that, calm the noise, calm the nervous system. And when we're in that state of stress, because we're recovering or mental health issues or just the stress of life right now, we are living in our head, and we're completely disconnected from our body. And for me, nature completely calms that. My husband and I are avid hikers. We live in central Alberta in Canada, so we're very fortunate. We're like a 2-hour drive from the Rockies, so we try to get there, several times a month and just immerse ourselves. He's got a busy, stressful job. I've got lots on the go, and it's just, I call nature my church. Because it is where I feel the most connected to myself and to the universe and the creator, right? It's where I feel the calmest, the most regulated. And you don't have to go away to the Rockies, right, to find nature. Lots of research is showing even just getting around green grass in a tree, right? So I know lots of people live in urban centers where it might not be that easy to kind of get out into the trees or the forest, but I just want your listeners to know too, it doesn't have to be to that level either to get the healing benefits. In fact, forest bathing in Japan was developed as a public health initiative in the 1980s, right? Because all the research was showing, oh my goodness, what a simple way to help people with their mental, physical, and emotional health, right? So it really is so beneficial and so easy to access for the most part.
Yeah. So, what are kind of the steps that you would recommend for somebody who's like totally locked into their professional job or disassociative activities online? How do they start?
I think just, like anything, start small. Even, small little incremental changes in our life add up to big things. I think so many people get overwhelmed because they think, oh my God, I don't have a day to go spend. Well, it doesn't have to be a day, right? Walk down to your local park, sit on a bench, put your device away, even for 5 or 10 minutes. Like, those moments where we can be present. And it's hard because when we're used to living in our head and disconnected from our body, it's easy to kind of stay there. But it really is about just learning to be present. And I sometimes, even when I have lots going on, I have to remind myself to be mindful and present. So then I'll consciously say, okay, what are the things I see? What are the things I hear? Do I hear a squirrel? Do I hear birds singing? Right? How does the ground feel beneath my feet? Because when I'm present and I tune into my senses, it pulls me from that future, which is where we are when we're in our head, and pulls me
Yeah.
into my present body. So it really is finding moments, hopefully outside in nature, where we can do that. Take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground, right? On the grass, right? That grounding, that electromagnetic field that also has been proven to regulate our nervous systems as well. Like, we were meant to be in contact with the earth, not walking around on pavement and cement with, layers of rubber strapped to our feet, right? So it doesn't have to be anything big or, time consuming, but I think the more people do it, the more they're going to find, oh my goodness, this just feels so good to just quiet the noise and be present in your body.
Yeah, and so for me, I know that I'm big on scheduling those gaps, both in the day, in the week, and in the month, and because we're used to scheduling, like that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
And by prioritizing it and having it calendared, then like yesterday, I had a fishing trip in the afternoon that was scheduled. I didn't want to do it actually because I had some things I wanted to get done work wise. But then once I got out there, it was good medicine and it was re-energizing for me. And so even just having it scheduled is a critical point.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're all creatures of habit too. So the more we can incorporate it into our daily routines, right, the easier it will become. Like, going to the gym, I don't always want to, but it's scheduled on my certain days and my certain times. So I just know, no, you just go and do it. And now, actually I just celebrated my 900 sessions at my gym. It's just like brushing my teeth. I just go and I do it because it's become so immersed and part of my routine. So yeah, I think that's a really good point, that if we can schedule it in and just, make it part of that daily activities, that can help prioritize it as well and get it done.
Yeah, yeah. And even like you're saying, even just 15 minutes at a park is a break that makes sense and is rational.
Yeah,
But
as long as we're off our devices. There's no benefit if
yeah,
we're on our devices.
right. Yeah, you've just changed locations, which you're getting the dopamine dump.
The dopamine spike, absolutely.
Well, you also are big on physical fitness and exercise, and it also has similar value.
It does.
And I'm wondering what I know you've done Ironman in the past. What kind of fitness goals or focus do you have right now?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of triathlons and races, 5, 10K, and half marathons. But I go to the gym. I'm still kind of just focusing on gym for fun. When you're doing those types of things, I mean, great for goals, but
Yeah,
it does become all consuming when you're training for an
yeah,
Ironman. You're thinking about it. You're worrying about it. You're training. You think, eat, sleep it. So it does become quite consuming. My husband's an ultra runner, so he just
Oh.
did the death race last year, and it was like really all we did and all we thought about and all we talked about. So this year was a little bit of a reprieve. We were just focusing on hiking. We are
Yeah,
actually going
nice.
to Peru in June this year to hike Machu Picchu. So in 2022, we hiked the West Coast Trail, which was
Nice.
75K, and you are off the grid. Like there's not even a
Yeah.
cell phone. You have to have a satellite phone all along the coast. And it was just absolutely incredible. I mean, you're backpacking, you're hauling everything in and hauling everything out. And it was an incredible experience. So now we're
How
looking
many
to
how many days was that one? That
that was it was 7 days. So it's a very technical trail. So like the one, I think the first 2 days, it took us about 6 hours to go 2 kilometers.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It was a very, very technical trail.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a slow 75K for sure. Yeah. But just overnight you're cooking the foods getting cooked and on the fire, and or there was no fire. Actually, there was fire bans. So on your little
Oh yeah.
stoves, and your toilet is a hole in the ground and you're sleeping on
Yeah.
the ground, and it was a different kind of challenge than our races and stuff, but it was, oh my god, incredible untouched beauty like I've never seen before.
And what did you notice about yourself and just what you're thinking about from hour one to the end? Yeah, like that transformation for
Well,
yourself.
there's moments of, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've ever done, to moments of, oh my God, what am I doing? Right. And everything,
Yeah.
and everything in between.
Yeah.
There was about probably 39 ladders we had to go up and down. And these were like
Wow.
90-degree ladders. Some of them, the rungs, I was counting 75, 80 rungs. You've got your
Wow.
30-pound pack on your back, right? Everything
Yeah.
hurts. But then just the beauty, it was just is incredible. And I think you learn so much about yourself, and centering yourself, grounding yourself, listening to what I call our inner wisdom, because the world just has us just so disconnected from that, right? And
Yeah.
like a spiritual moment like that, it was really like the spiritual moment that I'd never experienced before. So
Yeah, what I notice about those long trips is that the sense of time, it really, the
yes,
spaces get much bigger, right? We no longer thinking in 1 minute increments, and then those spaces of opportunity to meander and think about things that haven't entered other times come in.
absolutely, I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
So my longest trip was a 20-day backpack from Tahoe to Yosemite. Did that twice,
Wow.
and it is one of the more transformative things that I've done in my life. Just to have that much time. The time sense of time changes so dramatically. It's kind of like the first time you travel to a foreign country. You just like it just blows your mind
Expansive, like
literally.
if you had to choose a
Yeah.
word, it's like it's expansive, like nothing else I've experienced. And it was funny because we did the West Coast Trail, and then I came home, and 3 days later I went with my mom and my sister and my daughter. It was a girls trip to New York. So talk
Oh
about
yeah.
the opposite extremes. And I was so dysregulated. I'm just like, I don't know how people can live like this
Yeah.
every day, like the sights, the smells, the noise. It was just too much. Like I love New York. It was for the Broadway plays that we go, which are
Sure.
phenomenal. But
Yep.
but I'm just like, oh my goodness, take me back to the forest.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I'm interested to know what types of clients you like to work with. Who are your favorite clients?
You know what? I'm always humbled when I get the opportunity to work with anybody. I love people. I'm honored when people share their stories with me as a social worker for over 30 years, and all the different, contexts that I used to work in, addictions, and people with disabilities around with FASD. I love people, and I'm so honored when they share stories. Right now, my focus now is working with women. I'm a women-centered coach, which is really a very different coaching philosophy. Typical coaching programs are developed it was developed in the 60s for men by men, so that model hasn't really changed much. Women aren't men, as we all know. We face additional limiting beliefs and stuff because of masculine power structures, the world that we live in, and right how we're kind of socially conditioned as women. It creates a lot of additional limiting barriers. So this model is based on Dr. Claire Zamet's 20 years doing research around transformational change for women. And so I'm so excited because I know it's made a huge difference. I have a coach, I've gone through the program, and it really has been life changing. So as I move into this, the last third of my life, I'm just super excited to be able to support women to really step into the power of our greatness and the power of our feminine power. So just kind of stepping into this new chapter in my life.
No, that's beautiful. Yeah, there's a great book called The Third Third, and this, I don't know if you've heard of that, but he talks about what are we going to do with the last third of our life, and how do we mentor and be elders
Yes.
to this, to the young people, and women as well as young men all have this additional problem, additional challenge now of technology and social media, and just another layer of what Michael Mead calls initiations, right?
Mhm.
We call it trauma or initiations, and the challenge to be human and get through the muck to unearth some whatever we incarnated for, to bring those gifts forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree. That's awesome.
Well, I love the work that you're doing, and I appreciate your contribution.
Thank you so much.
So, do you have any trips planned for this summer? That are hiking trips?
So Peru in June.
Oh, that's
So
right,
yeah,
Peru.
we're going for
That's
3 weeks. So we'll do the Inca Trail, which is the longest way up. So it's 3 nights and 4 day hike up to the top. Then we'll take the train down, and a couple nights in the Amazon. It's going to be 3 weeks full of
wow.
adventure. So some hikes. We're going to do Rainbow Mountain. So that's quite an intense day hike, according to my research. Just the altitude. So we've
Yeah,
done the technical trails, but getting close to that altitude where you can start to experience the altitude sickness. So be a bit of an experience for us for sure. We're going to Africa in November, so I've been invited to speak as a keynote at a mental health conference in Africa. We were
beautiful.
hoping to go hike Kilimanjaro while we were there, but it just doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that. That's certainly on our hike list. But our
Yeah.
goal is to hike on every continent in the world. That's what we're doing in the last third of our life. So
All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on keynoting in Africa. That sounds
thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Yeah, it'll be amazing experience.
Well, good. If people or women in particular want to get in touch with you, how do they find you, Trina?
I think the easiest way is through my website. They can actually book a free 30-minute breakthrough session with me, where we can actually start to look at vision and things that are getting in the way. And then we can talk about if we're a good fit or not to work together. So my website is Trina Lee Kennedy. So TRINALEEKENNEDY.ca.
All right. Yeah, and that'll be in the show notes also.
Awesome.
So, well, I really appreciate it, and I hope you have safe travels this year and enjoy both of those once in a lifetime kind of type of trips.
Yes, they will be. Thank you so much for having me, Emmanuel.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. Hang
Okay.
on for me while I close it up, and we'll see.
Okay, take
Okay,
care.
thanks. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me today and listening to Trina talk about the importance of getting outside and hiking, or at least standing on the grass. And I agree entirely.